I would describe my current role as I'm an enabler. So really, even though the title says that I'm in charge, I think of myself as working for my team. So every day I solve problems, clear roadblocks, help to spur ideas, motivate people to deliver them their absolute best selves. I think that when you allow people to be their best and you allow them to have their own creative processes and you just foster the environment, of course an environment of love, because that's who we are at JMMB, anything is actually possible. I remember as early back as being 10 years old and sitting on a doorstep at my home and my mom saying to me, Kisha, I want to see your name here in the newspaper for a government scholarship. Remember back in the day when you did what we used to call a common entrance and your name is posted, and she said, I want to see your name here, and then you're going to go on from here and what you want to be. So I just said, a doctor, because clearly that's the thing to be. And I actually remember the first disappointment I had seen in life, not getting into med school after high school. And I did, by the way, get that government scholarship because I used to be an obedient child. I did what I was told. And not getting into med school after high school, and I said, oh my gosh, it's the first thing that I didn't do that I was supposed to do. But I actually think that was because my father was in charge of my destiny even before I knew it. My faith is a big part of who I am. But you can't give your faith to somebody. You know, you have to allow them to find it for themselves. So my mother raised me by herself, and my parents were separated, so she was a single mother. And so I started working from age 13 and did different summer jobs, and she came here and she was an early member of JMMB, and she came in, and as she tells the story, and I think Keith told me the story once, she came and said, look here, my daughter needs a job. But she didn't tell me that story. She told me that I was to go and get something from JMMB for her. So I came to JMMB in my shorts. I remember vividly the day, and I asked for Keith, and he said, I'm to speak to somebody named Marlene Batson. And she called me into the room. I thought, this is strange, I'm picking up something. This lady called me into a room and started asking me about myself. And she asked me a couple of questions, and the next thing I knew, she told me, okay, you can start. I said, start? She said, yes, your mom says you're to come for a job. And I started, and I really looked on the thing as a challenge. You know, everything was just learning something new, going to school at UE and doing my degree, and then learning something new each step of the way. I never thought about it as a career, but what was interesting were the different challenges and the different things I was exposed to. And I would say the job found me before I found it. Because we were small and we were growing, every day something new would be changing and learning. You got to be a part of the creative process. And I would just describe that same feeling, even though I was in different jobs over the years, as I moved from one job into the next. It's almost like you can think of different phases of your life. So I think when I was younger, I got this strength and the practical lessons from a strong mother. I got the love and affection from my grandma. As I became a young adult, I think when I married my husband and my partner, my soulmate, that gave me another sense of purpose. When I became a mother in the year 2003, it gave me a whole reason for being. I was baptized in 2005 and it changed my perspective. I learned about grace. And then I think in these later years, the confidence that has been placed in me at JMMB to do the things that I have been able to do and to be afforded those opportunities are moments that I can think of that have really marked as milestones in my life. I would say that even though we have goals and dreams for ourselves, and we might have these lists that we create, especially as women, allow the list to change depending on the circumstances, and to sometimes think that when you're directed a different way in life, it's actually leading you to a dream that's bigger than what you thought was possible. I would say to trust yourself. You're going to make mistakes. Somebody shared with me once that you make a mistake because sometimes you've never done that thing that you're doing for the first time. You've never done it before, so it's okay. But we tend to think that a mistake is, oh my Lord, the end of the world. It's not. You learn something from every mistake. You're going to make some good choices and you're going to make some bad ones. It's life. Figure out when you make the bad one, okay, what do I do next as the next step from here? I think it's important to plan for your future and plan for the events that may happen. It's how you look on money. Money is not the be-all and end-all, but it's the thing that enables you to be able to do certain things. So money is an important part of security. When I think of the future and I think of success, I think it's almost like I think, how would I want to be remembered at my funeral, you know? And I don't really want to be remembered so much around the titles or the achievements I've had. As a matter of fact, some of the titles I've had at GMMB leave much to be desired. I mean, just what they are. So I remember at a point I was special assistant to the deputy managing director. What's that, eh? The Bible says about finishing the race in Timothy. Finishing the race, I've fought the good fight. I've finished the race, I've kept the faith. So, and to me, that means that in whatever circumstances, your values, you may remain consistent with what your core values are. So I want people to be able to say, whatever the challenges that we're going through as an organization, this is who Kisha was in all of it, you know. My current favorite passage that I love is in Micah 6, I think, chapter 8. Act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with my God, you know. That's how I want to be remembered. That's how I want to be remembered.